The rain was merciless. It fell in sheets so thick they blurred the world beyond the windshield, drumming against the sleek black Mercedes slicing through the storm. Inside, billionaire Chris Morgan gripped the steering wheel, jaw tight, his mind racing faster than the storm outside. He was minutes away from signing a deal worth over $1 billion, a deal that would define his empire. The kind of success people would envy, headlines would celebrate, and competitors would fear. But fate, it seemed, had other plans. Then came the sound, boom. Like a gunshot under the car. The wheel jerked violently. The Mercedes veered to the side, tires skidding through the mud before coming to a shuddering stop on a desolate country road. Chris's heart pounded. He stepped out, rain soaking his $1,000 suit, and stared at the shredded tire. "Damn it," he shouted, his voice swallowed by thunder. No cell signal. No traffic. No help. Just him, the man who owned everything, now helpless in the middle of nowhere. As he cursed his luck, 3 teenage boys appeared in the distance, riding old bicycles through the storm, laughing as if the rain were a playground instead of punishment. One of them called out, "Need some help, sir?" Chris almost laughed at the absurdity. 3 drenched kids offering help to a billionaire who owned half the skyline. But what happened next would change not just his day, but his entire understanding of life, success, and kindness. Chris Morgan wasn't a man easily shaken. He'd built his empire from the ground up: steel, finance, real estate, you name it, he'd conquered it. His time was scheduled down to the minute, his image polished to perfection. People called him the Machine. Unstoppable. Untouchable. But on that stormy afternoon, nature didn't care about titles or net worth. It tore through his control like paper. He opened the trunk, eyes narrowing at the spare tire, the jack, and the wrench. He had no idea where to start. Changing a tire wasn't something billionaires practiced. The rain stung his face, cold and relentless, turning the ground beneath him into a mess of mud and water. He tried to call for help, no signal. He cursed again. For the first time in years, he felt powerless. That's when he heard laughter. 3 silhouettes emerged through the rain, boys no older than 15. They rode rusty bicycles, tires slicing through puddles, clothes plastered to their skin. Their laughter was bright, defiant against the storm. The tallest one stopped first. "Hey mister, looks like you got a flat," he said with an easy grin. Chris straightened, trying to keep some dignity. "Yeah. I'm fine. I'll handle it." But the boys didn't move. The leader, Ethan, squinted at the car, then at Chris. "You got a spare?" Chris hesitated. "Yeah, but, then let's fix it," Ethan said, motioning to his friends, Tony and Peter. Before Chris could protest, they were already moving, one fetching the jack, another kneeling by the wheel. The rain didn't bother them. They worked with a rhythm born of friendship and experience, chatting and joking as if fixing a billionaire's car in a thunderstorm was the most normal thing in the world. Chris watched in disbelief. Within 20 minutes, the tire was replaced. Ethan stood, wiping his hands on his soaked jeans. "Good as new," he said proudly. Chris blinked, still processing. He pulled out his wallet, thick with $100 bills. "Take this. Please. It's the least I can do." But Ethan waved his hand. "Nah, that's okay. We were just passing by. Glad to help." The other 2 nodded, already hopping onto their bikes. Chris frowned. "At least let me," but they were already pedaling away, laughter echoing through the rain. He stood there, speechless. For a man used to people doing everything for a price, this moment left him shaken. That night, after his billion-dollar meeting, which he somehow still made, Chris couldn't stop thinking about the boys. He'd closed the deal, received congratulations, shaken hands that were colder than the rain had been. But none of it felt satisfying. As he stared out the window of his penthouse, the city lights gleaming below, he realized something. Those boys had given him something money couldn't buy, genuine kindness. For the first time in years, Chris felt small. Human. The next morning, he made a decision. He drove back to that same town, this time in casual clothes, jeans, sneakers, a navy sweater. The sun had broken through the clouds, glistening off puddles on the road. When he reached the small diner near the center of town, he spotted the boys instantly. They were sitting outside, sharing fries, laughing like the world owed them nothing, and they were fine with that. Ethan saw him first. "Hey, it's the car guy," he called out. Chris chuckled, walking over. "Mind if I sit?" They shrugged. "Sure, why not?" He sat, feeling strangely nervous. "I just wanted to thank you again. What you did yesterday, it meant more than you know." Tony grinned. "It was nothing, sir." Chris smiled faintly. "For me, it wasn't nothing. And I want to do something for you." "Anything you want." Ethan hesitated. "We don't need anything, mister." But then, after a pause, he added, "Well, there is something. The community center we hang out at, it's falling apart. Roof leaks, old equipment, nothing for the younger kids. They've been trying to raise money to fix it." Chris leaned back, considering this. "A community center, huh?" Ethan nodded. "It's where we all go after school. Keeps us off the streets, you know." Chris smiled, feeling that same spark of purpose from the day before. "Then that's where I'll help." Within a week, trucks rolled into town, construction crews, painters, electricians. The old building came alive with noise and energy. Walls were repaired, the roof replaced, new playground equipment installed out back, the whole town gathered to watch. Ethan, Tony, and Peter worked alongside the workers, painting walls and carrying supplies. Chris was there too, not as the billionaire in the suit, but as a man with rolled-up sleeves, laughing with the boys, covered in paint and sweat. When the work was done, the transformation was stunning. The once faded building gleamed in the sunlight, its new playground bursting with color. Children's laughter filled the air as families came to see the miracle. Karen, the center's director, approached Chris, tears glistening in her eyes. "You didn't just fix a building," she said softly. "You gave us hope." Chris smiled. "No, ma'am. They did." He nodded toward the boys, who were pushing kids on swings, laughing like the storm had never happened. As the sun set, the town gathered for a small celebration. There was music, food, and joy, the kind of joy Chris hadn't felt in years. Ethan came up to him, shy but proud. "Thanks for everything, Mr. Chris." Chris knelt so they were eye level. "No. Thank you. You didn't just fix my car that day, you fixed something inside me." Ethan grinned. "Guess we're even, then." They laughed, shaking hands as the golden light of sunset wrapped around them. As Chris drove away that night, he didn't feel like a billionaire. He felt something far greater, human again. Sparkle's moral: sometimes, the richest people in the world are those who give without expecting anything in return, and sometimes, all it takes to change a life is a flat tire in the rain.